If you are a woman over the age of 60 and you feel like you've been organizing your house for years, but never really making progress, I want you to know something important. It is not your fault. Maybe you have color-coded bins in every closet, neatly labeled drawers, and an entire shelf of storage containers from home stores. But despite all that effort, every room still feels heavy, full, cluttered. You try to organize, but the feeling of peace never really arrives. That is because what you are doing is not actually decluttering. It is just shifting things around. Today, I am going to share 7 powerful and practical decluttering strategies made specifically for women in our stage of life. Women who have lived full, rich, complicated lives and who now want to breathe easier in their own homes. These are not just tips to clean up. They are steps to help you finally let go of the items that no longer serve you and hold on only to what truly matters. They are compassionate, low stress, and deeply freeing. And I promise, the 4th strategy will completely shift how you think about sentimental items. It changed everything for me and for hundreds of other women I have walked through this process with. So, if you are ready to stop organizing and start truly reclaiming your space and your peace of mind, you are in the right place. Hack 1, the 10-minute elimination ritual. Let me ask you something. Have you ever spent your entire Saturday trying to organize a closet or a cabinet, only to end the day more exhausted and more surrounded by piles than when you started? If so, you are not alone. Most women I know, especially those of us over 60, have tried this exact approach many times. And we always think, maybe this time I will finally get it under control. But it never quite works, does it? That is because organizing is not the same thing as letting go. You can spend your whole life arranging your belongings, but if you never question whether you still need them, you will always feel overwhelmed. That is where this first strategy comes in, and it is a total game changer. It is called the 10-minute elimination ritual. And yes, I said ritual because this is not about cleaning or sorting. It is about creating a new habit, one that respects your energy, your time, and your emotional bandwidth. Here's how it works. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Not 20, not 30, just 10. Choose one small area, one drawer, one shelf, one corner of the room, and focus only on that space. No jumping around, no reorganizing, and definitely no trips to the store for more bins. All you are doing during these 10 minutes is making decisions about what to release. You ask yourself 2 powerful questions. First, have I used this in the last year? If the answer is no, it goes. Second, does this serve who I am today, not who I was 20 years ago? And if it does not, it goes. That is it. No debates, no guilt. You are just practicing the habit of letting go. What makes this ritual so powerful, especially for older women, is that it is realistic. At this stage in life, many of us are dealing with lower energy levels, health limitations, or simply emotional fatigue. 10 minutes is short enough that it feels doable even on a tired day, but it is also long enough to make real progress. And here's the secret. When you repeat this ritual every day, you start to build momentum. You begin to trust your own judgment again. You realize how much you are capable of clearing. When you stop overwhelming yourself with the whole house, the emotional shift is just as powerful. Instead of ending your day frustrated, you end it with a sense of peace. Instead of staring at a closet full of things that drain you, you begin to create space for the life you are living right now. Not the life you had in the past, not the life you imagined, but the one you are in today. All that in just 10 minutes. That is the power of the elimination ritual. Small steps done consistently can change everything. Hack 2, the legacy memory box. Let's talk about something that weighs on many of us as we age, our memories. More specifically, the objects that carry those memories. The shoebox full of old letters from a friend who passed away. The shelf full of your child's school projects from 30 years ago. Your husband's old jacket, still hanging in the hallway. The china you inherited from your mother that you never use but cannot seem to give away. These items feel like they are part of who we are, and so we keep them scattered throughout our homes, afraid that letting them go means forgetting. But here is what I want to offer you today. Letting go of the object does not mean letting go of the memory. That is where the legacy memory box comes in. This strategy is gentle, respectful, and deeply healing. The idea is to choose just a few beautiful, meaningful items to keep and to give them an honored space. You create one memory box for each major area of your life. Maybe one for your marriage or partner, one for your children or grandchildren, one for your career, one for your parents or family history. These boxes are not storage containers. They are sacred spaces. They are intentional collections of the pieces that truly matter. You do not have to throw everything else in the trash. You can take pictures, create digital albums, write down the stories. The physical item is not the memory. You are the memory. You carry it with you. And here is something that surprises many women when they finally allow themselves to let go of the extra things. The clutter that used to bring guilt or sadness begins to transform. What remains brings joy and peace. You are no longer surrounded by reminders of unfinished business or people you miss. Instead, you are comforted by a few carefully chosen treasures that celebrate your journey. This practice also makes it easier for your loved ones later on. One day, someone else may have to go through your belongings. When you have already chosen what truly matters, you are not leaving them with the burden of figuring it out. You are giving them a gift, a clear, beautiful legacy of your life, carefully preserved. The legacy memory box is not about throwing things away. It is about choosing what to keep with intention. It is about shifting from guilt to gratitude, from holding on tightly to letting go with love. Hack 3, reverse shopping. Let me guess. At some point in your life, probably more than once, you walked into a store with good intentions. Maybe you were looking for a new storage bin, a shelf divider, or some kind of clever organizer that promised to finally fix the clutter. You told yourself, once I buy this, everything will fall into place. But what really happened? The bin came home, got filled with things you did not want to deal with, and the clutter stayed, just hidden better. That, my friend, is organizing, not decluttering. Organizing is often just a prettier way to postpone real decisions. Now, imagine flipping that behavior upside down. Instead of shopping for ways to contain your stuff, you start looking for ways to eliminate it. That is the idea behind this next strategy, reverse shopping. It is simple, powerful, and especially freeing for older women who have lived through decades of accumulation. Here is how it works. Every time you get the urge to shop for something to help you organize, like a new basket, a drawer insert, or even a label maker, you stop, you pause, and instead of heading to the checkout, you walk into the room you were planning to organize and ask yourself, what can I remove right now to make this item unnecessary? Then you remove at least 10 things. Yes, 10. Whether they are duplicate kitchen tools, unread magazines, clothes you no longer wear, or items hiding in the back of a drawer, you gather them up, bag them, donate them, recycle what you can, and then ask yourself again, do I still need to buy that item I was about to purchase? Most of the time, the answer is no. This approach is especially powerful for women in our generation. Many of us were raised with a sense of frugality. We saved everything just in case. We lived through times when buying something new was a big deal. But now we are in a different season, a season where simplicity brings peace. Reverse shopping helps retrain your brain to value space over stuff. You stop adding and start subtracting. And here is a beautiful side effect. You spend less money. You stop bringing home things you do not really need. You stop feeling like you failed because your new storage solution did not solve the problem. You begin to feel empowered because you are not being tricked by the illusion of organization anymore. You are getting to the root of the issue. Too much stuff is too much stuff, no matter how neatly it is labeled. Reverse shopping also helps you slow down and be more intentional about what you allow into your home. It gives you breathing room. It shifts your focus from how can I fit more to what can I live better without? And that question, that shift, is where real change begins. Hack 4. Ask yourself, does it energize me or drain me? This next hack is not about organizing. It is not even about minimalism. It is about tuning into your energy, the emotional response you have to the things around you. Because here is something no one talks about enough. Every single object in your home either gives you energy or takes it away. There is no neutral. Everything you own is either lifting you up or weighing you down. This realization changed everything for me. I started walking through my home slowly, one room at a time, and I asked myself, how do I feel when I look at this? It was not about whether it matched my decor or whether it was expensive. It was about energy, emotional weight, a sense of lightness or heaviness. For example, I had a closet full of unfinished craft projects, yarn, beads, sewing patterns, some of them from the 90s. Every time I opened that door, I felt guilty. I was reminded of what I had not completed, not inspired, not excited, just pressure. It drained me. Then there was my grandmother's china. Beautiful, yes, but never used. And I felt a tightness in my chest every time I passed that cabinet. Not joy, just the weight of something that used to mean more, but now sat collecting dust and responsibility. On the other hand, my reading chair by the window, that lifted me every time I looked at it. It called to me, invited me to pause, to reflect, to simply be. That was energizing. You do not need to explain it. You do not need to justify it. You only need to notice it. And when you do, you'll begin to see your home in a whole new light. You will begin to release things that no longer support your current life. You will stop surrounding yourself with reminders of past identities or unmet expectations. You will choose objects that serve your peace, your joy, your well-being. This is not about being cold or ruthless. It is about honoring your emotional reality. Because at this stage of life, your energy is sacred. It is limited, and it should not be wasted on clutter that makes you feel small, sad, or overwhelmed. You have the right to create a home that restores you, not one that drains you. This question, does it energize me or drain me, is more powerful than any organizing method because it connects directly to your truth, and your truth is the only compass you really need. Hack 5. Visualize your future self or your daughter. This next hack may be the most emotional one, and it is also one of the most powerful shifts you can make. It is not about closets or cabinets. It is not about labels or shelves. It is about the long-term picture, about love, about legacy, about imagining what your home, your belongings, and your decisions will mean to the people who come after you. I want you to take a quiet moment and really think about this. Picture yourself 5 years from now. Where do you want to be living? How do you want to feel in your space? Will you have more limited mobility? Will you still want to maintain so many items? Will you be traveling more or spending time with grandchildren or enjoying a peaceful retirement at home? Now ask yourself, will all this stuff serve that version of you? Most women never ask that question, but it is a gift when you do. Now take it one step further. Imagine your daughter or your niece, your granddaughter, or even your dear friend standing in your home someday. Maybe it is 10 or 20 years from now. She is trying to sort through your things. Will she feel overwhelmed? Confused? Will she know what mattered to you and what did not? Or will she be left guessing, unsure what to keep, what to donate, what to feel guilty about? One of the most loving things we can do as older women is to make those choices ourselves while we still have the clarity and the strength to do it. This hack is not about fear. It is about freedom. You are not preparing for the end of your life. You are preparing to live the rest of it with intention and to leave behind something beautiful, not burdensome. Here is what this looks like in practice. When you pick up an item you are unsure about, a keepsake, a stack of old papers, a piece of furniture, ask yourself, would I want my daughter to have to make a decision about this? If the answer is no, let it go now. If the item carries real meaning, write a note about it. Tell the story. Pass it along now, while you can explain why it matters. If it does not carry meaning, you have permission to release it. You are not throwing away the memory. You are lifting a weight off the shoulders of someone you love. And here's the amazing thing. This visualization often helps women let go of things they have been stuck on for years. Boxes of old photos no one ever looks at. Dozens of cookbooks that no longer get used. Clothing that belonged to a late spouse, still hanging quietly in the closet. You are allowed to say goodbye. You are allowed to keep only the pieces that truly matter. The beauty of this hack is that it honors both your future self and your loved ones. It helps you choose peace over pressure. It helps you reframe decluttering not as loss, but as love in action. Because sometimes the most meaningful legacy we can leave is not in the things we save, but in the emotional space we clear. Hack 6, the 2-for-1 replacement rule. Have you ever noticed how clutter seems to creep back in, even after you have spent weeks or months clearing it out? You start to feel lighter, freer, and then slowly, quietly, new things arrive. A gift from a friend, a sweater you could not resist on sale, a magazine subscription you forgot to cancel. And just like that, the space you worked so hard to reclaim starts to fill up again. That is why this next strategy is so important. It is called the 2-for-1 replacement rule. And it is not just about keeping your home tidy. It is about protecting your peace and making sure your progress does not quietly unravel. Here's how it works. From now on, every time you bring something new into your home, you commit to letting go of 2 existing items. Yes, 2, not 1. 2. That may sound like a lot at first, but there's a purpose behind it. 1 new item in, 2 old items out. This creates a natural filter that helps you think twice about what you accept or buy. Let me give you an example. Your neighbor gives you a beautiful new plant. Before you bring it inside, you find 2 older plants that are not doing well, or maybe 2 unused vases, and you donate them. When you buy a new pair of shoes, you find 2 pairs that hurt your feet, or that you never wear anymore, and let them go. When you receive a lovely new throw blanket for Christmas, you release 2 older ones that are faded or forgotten at the bottom of the linen closet. This rule helps you stay intentional. It stops accumulation in its tracks. And it is especially powerful for women in our stage of life because we are so often on the receiving end of other people's generosity. Well-meaning adult children want to give us more things. Friends offer hand-me-downs. And we sometimes say yes out of politeness, not because we need or even want the item. The 2-for-1 rule gives you a kind and clear boundary. You can say yes, but you also say goodbye. It also teaches you to become a curator of your own space. Instead of collecting, you are editing. You are refining. You are making space for things that genuinely serve you now. And let me tell you, it feels good. Really good. Women who use this rule consistently report feeling more in control, more proud of their homes, and more confident when making choices. It also helps you become a more mindful shopper. You stop impulse buying because you know the true cost, not just in dollars, but in space and energy. The magic of this rule is not in the numbers. It is in the mindset. It tells your brain, I have enough. I am enough. I do not need to keep adding. I need to honor what I already have and let go of what no longer fits my life. So, next time you bring something in, even something small, take a pause. Ask yourself, what 2 items can I release to make space for this? You'll be amazed at how quickly this tiny habit builds a home that truly feels light, beautiful, and yours. Hack 7. The 30-day staging area. Let us be honest. One of the hardest parts of decluttering is not the physical task of moving things around. It is the emotional tug-of-war that happens in your heart and mind. You pick up an old scarf, a holiday dish, or a stack of papers, and you pause. A memory surfaces. A what if sneaks in. What if I need this someday? What if I regret giving it away? What if someone else in the family wants it later? These moments can stop your progress in its tracks. Not because you do not want to let go, but because you are afraid of making a mistake. That fear is very real. And it is exactly why this final strategy works so beautifully, especially for women in our stage of life. It is called the 30-day staging area. This is how it works. You choose 1 small space in your home. It could be a corner of your garage, a shelf in the basement, the back of a closet, or even a large plastic bin with a lid. You label it clearly, staging area, decide in 30 days. Then, anytime you come across an item that you are unsure about, something that brings up hesitation, guilt, or doubt, instead of putting it back where it was, you place it into the staging area. That is it. You do not need to decide right away. You do not need to force a choice in the moment. You simply move it out of your daily space and into a neutral zone. And here's the key. You set a reminder on your calendar or phone for 30 days from the day you placed each item inside. When the 30 days are up, you go back to the bin. And if you have not missed, needed, or even thought about the item during that time, you let go. No second guessing, no reopening the emotional debate. This strategy is so powerful because it removes pressure. It gives your heart and mind time to breathe. It honors your feelings without letting them control your space. It lets you declutter without fear. Many women find that after a few weeks, they do not even remember what they put in the staging bin. They realize they were holding on out of habit, not love, not purpose. And that is where the transformation begins. The staging area becomes a confidence builder. It teaches you to trust your instincts. It shows you that you are fully capable of making wise, kind, and clear decisions one small step at a time. You can even take a picture of each item before placing it in the bin. That way, if you are worried about forgetting something sentimental, you still have the image. You still have the memory, without keeping the physical weight. This hack is especially helpful for inherited items, gifts you feel guilty about donating, or things you spent good money on years ago. The staging area becomes your emotional buffer zone, a space where you can be honest without being rushed. And with time, something amazing happens. You begin to need the staging area less and less. You start trusting your first response more. You no longer get stuck in the maybe zone. You begin to realize that your home is not a museum of everything you have ever owned. It is a living space, a breathing space, a space that should support your life, not store your indecision. So take a look around your home. Is there a drawer, a shelf, or a little corner that could become your staging area? You do not need anything fancy. Just a safe space to make wise decisions in your own time. You have earned that freedom. Let this final hack give you what organizing never could: clarity without chaos, permission without pressure, and peace without perfection. You made it. You listened. You reflected. And maybe, just maybe, something inside you shifted. And if it did, I want you to pause and take a breath right now. Because that small shift, that quiet voice inside you saying, "I am ready to let go," that is where the real transformation begins. You see, decluttering is not about cleaning. It is not about perfection. And it is certainly not about having the right containers or a picture-perfect home. It is about releasing the things that no longer serve you so you can make space for what does. It is about choosing freedom over fear, peace over pressure, the present over the past. At this stage in life, you have earned the right to live with intention. You have earned the right to wake up in a home that feels calm, open, and full of light, not cluttered by obligations, memories you no longer need to carry, or things that only exist because you thought you should keep them. And if no one has told you this recently, let me say it clearly: you are not behind. You are not late. You are not the only one who has struggled with clutter. There is no shame in having held on, only courage in deciding what to hold on to next. So now I invite you to choose one thing, just one. Maybe it is 10 minutes to eliminate. Maybe it is starting your memory box. Maybe it is setting up that 30-day staging area in the corner of the garage. Choose one act to release today, however small, and do it not to impress anyone, but to honor yourself, your time, your story, your space. And when you do, share it. Leave a comment below. Tell us what step you are taking first, or what item you finally feel ready to let go of. You never know who you might inspire by doing so. And if this video helped you see decluttering in a different light, if it brought you a moment of clarity or comfort, please consider clicking like and subscribing. It helps more women like you find this kind of gentle guidance. And it tells YouTube that this message matters. You are not alone on this journey. We are doing this together. One drawer, one memory, one choice at a time. Thank you for spending this time with me. May your home become a true reflection of the woman you are today, wise, worthy, and wonderfully free.